Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Matt with Boys Crypto. Let's dive right on in today. Some exciting action in the market. I cannot wait to go over everything with you. We have a mixture of red and green across the board today in the crypto sphere. You have things down 10%. You have things up almost 10%. Where are we going in the near term as Bitcoin sits around 96,000? So let's jump right on in here and let's talk about the first chat that we have here. Getting started really early. Mandycoin, the talk of the town today. The talk of the town just had a massive capitulation event, and we went over this yesterday on the live stream, talking about the caution you need to have whenever any kind of asset goes on a massive parabolic run as such. Now, since this massive dip, we have had a big recovery, right? But you cannot neglect the fact that it was an asset that had fallen from top around $16 million market cap, and it lost 96% of its value in about a 3-hour time period here, which was absolutely massive. If you were not staring at your wallet, you were caught blindsided, right, by this massive capitulation event. The holders are maintaining pretty steady, so it indicates that there may have been some kind of whale sell-off, right? However, this project is rebounding strongly. I know PMG Crypto is currently talking about it, saying how his girlfriend's business and everything is tied to it, and that is awesome, as it is getting a big bounce back right now, up almost 10x from the bottom. I will say 1300% since the bottom in the span of 2 hours. This is such a highly volatile asset, but if you know how to take advantage of these markets, there are money making opportunities to be made. That wick took out almost all the gains that this coin has had in the last 10 days, only to be bought back up, and we're right where we were earlier on in the day. So that is really exciting. We'll be tracking Mandycoin on the live as the days progress here and see if this could be one of the biggest recoveries in crypto history. This dump was absolutely massive. It's very rare to see assets recover from a 95% correction. So let's jump on over here to crypto bubbles. As we said, we have a sea of red, a sea of green, all in the mixture here, kind of mixed signals throughout the day, right? However, we are getting that a little bit of relief in the altcoins, which were struggling over these past few weeks, actually. Oh, excuse me. We're struggling over these past few weeks, and we'd like to see those altcoins get a little bit of a breather, even as Bitcoin is starting to cool off here on the week. We do have some big green pancake swap up as the BNB chain comes back to life. Speculatively, that chain may be looking to create meme coins. People may be getting on there to create the next set of memes, like they were on Sui, like they were on XRP. So keep an eye out on Dex Screener for BNB memes to start to come to life and start seeing gains like this, like Mandycoin potentially, right, in the near term as that chain upgrades and comes back to life, right? All right, so here we go. Let's dive on into Bitcoin. Where are we? Well, since yesterday, we have fallen beneath this high volume node here, and that is a sign of caution for me, right? Over the past 2 weeks, ever since we've had that massive capitulation event on Bitcoin, that buy up, we've been trading in chop, and they are not making it easy for anybody, right, to determine where this market is going to go, where the market makers are going to take us next, and they have full control over this week weekend and going into tomorrow, since it is a holiday. Though the Asian markets are open and there is a temporary boost in liquidity right now, when they close, the US markets will be closed for President's Day. So it is something you definitely want to keep on your radar. In order for the bulls to take over here and push Bitcoin back to the upside, it is imperative that we get back above this high volume node here at about 97,800, 97.2, 97.8. That region right there. The 21 is curving down, right? Not a sign that we'd like to see. We want to get back above there and start closing some daily candles, or we are at risk. We are at risk now. After losing that high volume node, we are at risk at capitulating down massively to be caught by either the 200 MA on the daily or this high volume node down here at about 67,000. That would be a massive liquidation event for everyone, as these longs in here have not been tested. Many longs have not been closed out, and there is a substantial amount of liquidity beneath us that those whales may be looking to go after before taking us back up to the upside. Now, I do see a lot of influencers talking about this double top pattern here. Double top, right? Double top. And we got, that has the potential to take us nastily to the downside, right? So we want to keep that on our radar, right? Is that VRVP gap going to be filled by nasty price action, by a nasty capitulation candle? Was this just the beginning of something greater, of something disastrous, right? Was this the capitulation candle that was just a test of what is to come? Because this has happened before in Bitcoin's history, right? Let's look back. Let's look back, right? Let's go back to 2020, right? Let's go back to 2020. We had these high volume nodes, right? We fell below. And once we fell below these high volume nodes, right? Here, we capitulated down massively. Look at that drop right there. We started closing candles and you had a 45% drop in the biggest crypto asset. If that happens to Bitcoin, it will happen to your altcoins too. Be very careful of your altcoin bags in this period of uncertainty. Right now, as we get back to price action, right? This is also an opportunity, right? Every time that we've gotten down into this zone, we've bounced. We bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and this is the 5th time we bounced here. And are we going to go for a 6th, right? There's definitely buy pressure down here. And you have people like Michael Saylor, right? Continually buying Bitcoin on the weekly. Will he continue or will he stop temporarily? He continually offers stock options for his clients that are allowing his company to buy millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every week. That is honestly maybe propping up the price here. Who is selling? Who is buying? Questions that we remain to be unanswered here in the near term, right? So looking at this, you could also see this as a consolidation pattern, right? As we're coming up, we may just be testing that bottom trend line here as we're zooming in. But this daily candle is going to be very important. We want to see a candle close, preferably green candle close above this line. I want to see the RSI, the stochastic RSI, start to curve back to the upside in hopes of bringing us back to the top of this pattern around $100,000. If we do not get that and we start closing candles beneath this trend line, that is a caution. That is a major danger zone for Bitcoin as the daily 200 MA continually creeps up at around $80,000. As bullish as everyone's been, and as bullish as the Twitter space has been, as the X space has been, it is imperative to know that when we were back at $20,000, people were calling for 100K. I'm not a bear here, but people were calling for 100K back then, right? And what did we get? We had massive capitulation down to $3,000. There will be a top in this market. Is it now? I don't believe so, right? Even if we came back down here to test the daily 200 MA, until we start breaking, closing candle bodies below that, I will remain a macro bull, right? I will remain a macro bull in the medium term, right? And long term for the outlook, right? So we want to hold above this daily 200 MA. We don't want to see this VRVP gap get filled, right? And we want to hold above this high volume node, or get back above and hold above this high volume node here for a chance for Bitcoin's price to recover and get back up to those higher price targets. We have been here, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 3 months. Ever since the election, we have been in this absolute chop, right? It isn't often that Bitcoin trades sideways for this long, right? We did have a massive 6-month long consolidation period here. Is this just the beginning of something like that, right? As we zoom out to the weekly time frame, all right, we could be seeing what is potentially a flag forming. These take a long time to play out. Well, why? Because these candles represent 7 days of time. They take a long time to form, right? Is this a weekly bull flag that is forming on the weekly time frame that is going to take us to much higher prices here, up to about $144,000, up to that $155,000 level right here, right? So speculating, right? If you were interested in taking a position on this bull flag right here, and a good entry would be now a stop below the wick, below the 21 on the weekly, and you can go for a massive long-term 7-to-1 trade here if you are speculating on more upside action. This will take time to play out. By the time this flag gets there, you're looking at the middle of May of 2025. This is going to take weeks, months to play out, right? But Bitcoin price action can get there very quickly based on the extrapolation of this flagpole. So we are excited to see how that pans out here, right? And you can draw this flag in a lot of different ways. But is this just a great opportunity to take a long position here going into the coming weeks, months, where we may be getting that, that a strategic asset reserve, the government starting to buy Bitcoin, that proposed idea of buying 200,000 Bitcoin every year for 4 years? Is that the news event that we're going to see that's going to get us to catapult to the upside here? Or are these tariffs, is unemployment, or is jobless claims going to come out next week super positive, and we're not going to see that, we're not going to see the Fed's cutting rates anytime soon, right? If we don't get those rate cuts, it's unlikely that we're going to see this bullish move. So we are caught in the crossroads right here. And we're going to zoom in on the lower time frames to see where we're going in the near term and where we can expect to see price to go as we go into this initial jobless claim on Thursday, which is going to be a macro news event, not just for the United States, but for the world, and will likely dictate where Bitcoin goes inside this flag, whether we break up to test the top resistance line or to the bottom. So let's zoom in here on the 4-hour time frame. We'll get rid of this box here. And we are in a major, as we went over before, we are still sitting here in this major Adam and Eve double bottom. We have our Adam and we have our Eve. We have our Eve forming, right? Adam and Eve patterns break up massively 90% of the time in this space. Right? It's a 60 to 70% pattern, but every time that we've seen them, they tend to break out to the upside all the time, right? Almost every time. So a breakout of this Adam and Eve pattern takes us right back to the all-time high. You don't want to go chasing green candles, right? If you're speculating on this Adam and Eve pattern playing out, this is where you would want to be getting into a long position. On the near term, right, we're still holding on by a thread, barely. By this high volume node here, we want to get back above that $97,000 level, bounce here and fill the gap, right? And it could happen. It could happen very quickly, especially on times of low liquidity like it is right now, right? The whales can do whatever they want, and don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow morning and Bitcoin's sitting at 98, 99, potentially even $100,000, right? If we're sitting there, it's very likely that the whales just took advantage of that low liquidity. Then everyone's going to be crapping their pants, and they're going to be like, holy crap, Bitcoin's at 100K. That FOMO starts to kick in, and these altcoins get a run like nothing else, right? And we pull up Bitcoin dominance here. Bitcoin dominance in a massive flag. We did have it in this symmetrical triangle here that did end up breaking down, right? But I've kind of adjusted this idea to be a little bigger right here on the 4-hour time frame. We had that shooting star pattern, right? And Bitcoin trending downwards to possibly test this 4-hour 200 MA, a shoulder, head, right shoulder I am seeing forming within the flag, right? Will this break us further to the downside to test? Or is this bull pennant? Is this bull pennant going to break to the upside? Or is this the beginning of a major downtrend for Bitcoin dominance? As we've been here looking at the weekly, zooming in, zooming in, we've been on this massive 2-year uptrend that has held us for a very long time. It broke only to be broken back into immediately right after it broke to the downside, right, on Bitcoin's massive capitulation event, right? That happened the other week when Bitcoin went from 110,000 back down to $90,000 in the span of 2 days. That was a massive event, right? And whenever Bitcoin takes a massive dump, altcoins tend to dump harder, right? And that causes Bitcoin dominance to boom, right? And that's exactly what happened here. We had our broken pattern. Speculating on altcoin season right here, right? Didn't happen. We got back up inside the pattern, and here we are. Is this going to be the break that causes us to have that massive drop like we did back here in 2021 that led the average altcoin to do a 600% run, right? A 6x for your average altcoin. That was an insane run, as the total crypto market cap, looking at total 3, whoop, 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 whoop. Total 3 here, we're pulling it up on the charts, as total 3 did a massive, this is corresponding to that time back in 2021, right? Where Bitcoin the altcoins did a 7.5x on average, right? So right then there was a lot more coins in this space, right? But here we're speculating on a move like that happening again once Bitcoin dominance starts to fall off a cliff. Well, why? Because there's so much more money in Bitcoin right now. Back here, it was only a $700 billion asset, right? At the top. Well, now you're looking at a $2 trillion asset, right, where we currently stand. If Bitcoin doubles from here, which is very likely during this bull market, right, you're looking at a $4 trillion market cap, a 25 to 40% drop. You're looking at a $1 trillion injection into these major altcoins, right? And the lower cap gems. You're going to see a lot of coins do a 5, 10, 20, and potentially 50 or 100x from where they are, because that amount of money is so much greater than what we had back in 2021, right? Granted, there's more coins, but I believe that the altcoins with utility and altcoins that have the ability to change the way we look at the world are going to outperform massively on this upcoming bull run, right? As we look at the stock market futures open, and futures, we are at an all-time high in the stock market. Futures ripped absolutely massively over the past few days, past few weeks, right? And we did speculate here that we may be coming down to test that daily 200, and we didn't. We got a massive jump after that deep seek fear, right, that hit the market, right? And now we're just flagging out. We're flagging out. Are we going to go higher here on the S&P and break to new all-time highs? And are we going to decouple from Bitcoin here? Is Bitcoin just going to go sideways while stocks, while gold, while all assets besides Bitcoin that are speculative rocket absolutely to the moon as Bitcoin consolidates in this tight range on the daily, right? Mandy Coin, we're going to zoom over here real quick. Mandy Coin getting that absolute massive bounce. These are 15-minute candles, everyone. 15-minute candles. And to show you how nasty this price action was since for the past 3 hours, 4 hours now. Let's look at this. 2 4-hour candles. You had a 4-hour candle drop by 95%. That is massive capitulation, right? People feared, got out, right? And missed out on what is a 15x opportunity. 15x in the span of a single 4-hour candle. Shorter than that in the last essentially hour, 2 hours, right? An hour and a half, 2 hours. You missed out on a 15x, right? Now, is a bounce like that guaranteeing us that we're going to go further to the upside? Well, let's pull out our fib tool here and see what's likely to happen, right? A huge resistance zone that this asset is going to need to push above is that 0.013 region. Well, why? Because we're sitting in that golden pocket, 618 to 786 retracement on the bearish side, right? So people FOMOing in right now after the asset 15x in the past hour and a half, it may not be the wisest decision, right? Based on your, you have to look at your risk portfolio, right? And have faith in the project overall. But is this just a bearish retest of the 618 before heading back further to the downside? We will have to wait and see. Now, if you're speculating on getting into a long or buying this asset, right, you're going to want to look at the smaller time frames and see where we could end up here. You're consolidating. And honestly, I'd be lying to you if I was saying that this was a clear, easy chart to read. Look at this. How are you supposed to trade this, right? Especially when the candles, look at these candles. That's a single 5-minute candle of 100%. Trading this or buying and selling out at buying and selling out quickly is going to absolutely wreck you, right? Because you had a 100% up there. You had in 15 minutes, you had a 50% down. Now you're up, you're up 137%, right? And a single 5-minute candle, right? Say you put $100 in, now you're down $200, 22%. It is a massively volatile market right now. And I would definitely wait for some kind of clear consolidation, a flag, a cup and handle to form, anything to form that would give me confidence that I am taking a high value trade, or a trade that is very likely to play out, right? Is this going to be a cup and handle kind of formation, right? Before we break higher to the upside. Speculatively, that could be a thing. That could happen, right? Are we going to get a swing low to swing high? Are we going to get we could pull out our fib tool here, right? And if, from swing low to swing high, are we going to get that 786 retest, make a higher low before pushing the higher prices? That is also, I'm going to leave this here and see how price plays out, right? And it could just boom back to the upside. You break those all-time high, you're going to get FOMO back in, and everybody's going to ape into Mandycoin because it does look like a very, very good project here in the near term, especially with that bounce, that buyer pressure, crazy. This thing fell to under $1 million market cap, right? I believe it fell to about 500,000. You're looking at $10 million getting injected in market cap wise in the past 2 hours, right? So there's definitely some serious buyers here looking to get into this project, right? And I would, you definitely want to go check out the website and their Twitter and see what they're saying. I know PMG, he's talking about that massive crash, right? And he is encouraging his community to continually purchase his token and hold on to your tokens. And he is still maintaining by that statement that he said on X that we are going to a $100 million market cap. Will we get there? We will see. I am excited to see that as the week pans out, right? But highly volatile. Definitely do your own due diligence. And whenever you're investing in anything like this, it should be in my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot give I don't give any financial advice to anyone. This is for entertainment purposes only. But if I were in your shoes, I would recommend that this is a low position on your portfolio. Risk 1%, 2%, right? If you were speculatively investing, but don't bet the farm on this, because if you bet the farm on this and it does go south, right? And it does go south and you have a 93% drop, well, that'll be really, really difficult to discuss to the lady who wants you to buy more gold for her upcoming birthday in a few months, right? So that's something that you definitely want to consider whenever you're getting into coins, assets, investments, anything like that. That are relatively low market cap, right? Sitting at about that 12.1 million market cap. That is low compared to a lot of the coins that you see on coin market cap up in the $1 billion range, multi-billion-dollar range, like Ondo, Chainlink, things that have established partnerships in the real world, right? That have gained that traction. You're a lot safer from dumps like this. The odds of one of those assets falling 95% are relatively low compared to something like this, right? So just definitely do your own due diligence before getting into any trade or investment. Do your own research, right? And we'll see how this project pans out over time. So this week, right, we talked about the initial jobless claims. We have such a critical week coming up, President's Day tomorrow, right? It is going to be low liquidity going into tomorrow, Monday, right, as U.S. markets are closed. However, that initial jobless claims is going to be the biggest news event, in my opinion, this week that is going to rock the market in one way or the other. So we have to keep our eyes on that. That comes out at 8:30 on Thursday, February the 20th, and I will be on X, keeping you guys posted on that. I may even go live for the initial jobless claims and listen to the press conference with you guys so that we can understand have a better understanding of what's going on in the market. All right, so let's jump into the chat. Let's see what we got here. Wanda says, what crypto wallet do you recommend? That is a great question, Wanda. I am happy to answer that for you. Thank you for jumping on into the chat, and thank you for your support. Now, a wallet, right? A crypto wallet. There are tons of crypto wallets that you can have. A lot of them are digital. You could get a cold wallet for cold storage, right? So you could take it off onto a ledger, so you can carry coins around with you wherever you go. Or if you're talking about wallets where you want to invest in something on a certain chain where you can't necessarily use fiat money, right? But like on the Solana chain, you need to use Solana, right? You need to send Solana to the chain, and you use Solana to transact. So these assets right here, right? You talked about Dex Screener. This is on the Solana network, right? So you need a Solana wallet like Solflare, right? Or you could use Phantom. That is an integration of a bunch of different wallets. But Solflare is a great Solana wallet. That's the one I use, right? And it allows you to exchange through Jupiter, the best exchange, in my opinion, decentralized exchange, right? You're also exchanging through Jupiter qualifies you for their airdrop at the end of the year, so you get free Jupe just for using their platform, right? A very interesting project, Jupiter. Go check it out whenever you guys have some free time. What a great exchange. Super cool. Shout out to all the cats, all the cadets that are watching us here on the stream, all the Jupe cadets, right? So looking at this is a Solana wallet, right? So you can connect your Solana wallet and you could buy any of these assets. Now, if I wanted to buy, say, a meme or an asset on the base chain, I can't use my Solana wallet, right? Because Solana isn't paired with Base, right? So I need a Base wallet or a Pulse Chain wallet, right? Here's we scroll down the line, a Sui wallet, right? And there's tons of them. All you need to do is go into your app store, right? And type Sui wallet or Solana wallet, Ethereum wallet, and you'll get your list of however many. And some, like Phantom, are really cool that integrate a bunch of different ones so that you can trade on all these assets, right? But those are the kind of wallets that you're going to need to purchase these more speculative investments. They're higher risk, right? But they are the wallets that you need to purchase these more speculative investments. And like Jupiter for their airdrop, right? They're going to send you Jupiter to your Solana wallet, right? Now, things like Coinbase, right? Coinbase is a wallet is different than an exchange. An exchange is an area that you want to exchange crypto, right? An area that you want to exchange crypto, and you do that for a fee, right? Your wallet you can exchange too, but you have to go through an exchange. So a wallet is just an area where you're going to want to hold crypto, whereas an exchange is an area where you want to buy crypto. An exchange, you are trusting that exchange with your coins for the time period that you have them on that exchange. So I highly recommend getting yourself a wallet where you could keep the tokens that you are planning on holding for a long time on cold storage, right? On something like a Ledger, like an Eclipse wallet, like something like that, where you could put them on there, and then it's going to take God and country to get in there. They do not get hacked. They cannot get hacked. They have a 24-word secret password that only you know, right? That's completely randomly generated. You put your own seed phrases, your passwords to get in. It takes like triple verification just to be able to send coins. It is foolproof, right? Like if I handed somebody my ledger, right, with my crypto holdings on it, there's no way that they would be able to get to it without the seed phrase or the passwords that I have, right, and my family has, right? So there's nothing that it's imperative that you have your coins stored on a safe area. And when you do that, you want to keep it safe, right? I read stories about the California wildfires, people losing all their crypto assets, right? Their ledgers burn up and their passphrases burn up. They kept them in the same location in a non-fireproof safe, devastating. All your crypto assets are gone. They're gone, right? So there's pros and cons. You keep your stuff on exchange, you keep your coins on exchanges. Well, that's great, but you're trusting a centralized exchange to watch your coins, right? And they can control your coins if they wanted to, and that's speculative, right? But if the government gets their hands on that in some way, shape, or form, they can control your assets, and you don't want that, right? Whereas on a ledger, you have full control. It makes you entirely bankless. But with that, there's that responsibility of you need to have in keeping your assets safe, right? You are your own bank, so you take on that risk for yourself. So it's just a matter of like how you want to manage your risk and manage your tokens in the near time. All right, let's go down here and let's see what else we got in the chat. April is asking, what is a golden pocket? I will make a video for you on that, April, just for you, right? The golden pocket is a key area where assets are known to reverse in the near term, right? So whenever you pull out this Fibonacci tool, right? A 618 to 786 retracement is a very common retracement that happens whenever you're looking at cryptocurrencies, right? It's an area that people could speculate on reversal trades. So if I wanted to take a trade on a 786 reversal, I was just looking at this here on the Radium network, right? So let's clear our work here. So whenever you're taking a speculative trade on a reversal, let's see, we'll pull out our Fibonacci tool, and you saw this massive drop, right? Followed by a substantial push up, right? So now you have a swing low to your swing high, right? And you want to pull this across, right? And you want to click, right? And it will give you areas of confluence, right? Some people use the candle bodies. Some people use the wicks. There's all sorts of ways to draw these. But the way I like to do it is take a candle wick. I don't look at the wicks when I'm generally charting, right? But for Fibonacci's, I do. It's just a personal preference of mine and something that I like to incorporate into my trading strategy. So we had this massive capitulation, right? Our swing low, and we had a great push up, right? And that refers to our swing high, and we had capitulation backwards, right? And you see some sideways chop. Well, now after we had that explosive move upward, we don't know if the bears are necessarily going to be strong enough to eat through that massive wick that we had, right? That enormous amount of buy pressure. Well, where are buyers likely to step in again in order to push price higher to the upside, right? Well, you can look at this golden pocket area, right? And it's a reaction zone. There is no guarantees in trading, but it is a reaction zone. And you can see right here, we got a reaction off of the 786 area. We came down here, we tested the 786, right? With the candle bodies here, right? Between the 786 and the 886, it was a little bit of a deeper retracement, but we actually did get that reaction. A very, very strong reaction that was a 21% move, right? And this is on the 4-hour time frame. You could take a great leverage trade off of a 21% move. On a 5x, you would double your position, right? So it is a way of looking at reversal trades, right? And just catching a reaction on an area where it has been statistically proven that prices will rebound from, right? Now, just as these go in the bullish direction, right? We're looking at a bullish retracement here. What about a bearish retracement? What about what if we had a massive drop and I'm like, man, I missed the short, right? I missed the short. I don't know if I'm going to be able to short here, or is there going to be a bounce? What is likely to happen? Well, let's pull our fib here from the other way, right? We'll go from our swing high, right? We had our massive push up, right? To our massive push down. And we'll put it here. Boop. Right? And we had that massive push to the upside where, well, let's flip this around. Well, we don't need to flip it around. Our bearish 786 right here served as a gray area. The candle body close respected to 618. This is the area, right? That golden pocket area that you want to be looking at if you're looking at for reversal trades, right? Price pushed back up into this 786 area before pushing back down to the downside. It all is a matter of speculation, right? And there's nice confluence here because if you would have taken a short here at the 786, you could put your stop loss on the other side of the 4-hour 200 MA, a very clear area that signifies whether you're in a medium-term bullish or bearish trend, right? So that would have been a great trade to take, and you would be up massively, right? From the 786, that is a 21% move to the downside. So I recommend whenever you're trading, pull your fibs, see where price is likely to react off of, right? Because if you're in a long and you're hard charging into a 618.76 golden pocket to the bear side, or in a short and you're approaching the 0.618 to the 786 retracement to the downside, right? This blue zone right here, this green line to the purple line to the blue line, this zone right here, if you're approaching that, man, and maybe you may want to consider taking some profits, right? You may want to consider taking some off the table because it is likely that you're going to see some kind of reaction in the opposite direction from these zones. Again, it doesn't always happen, right? But it's an area where you can speculate on specifically leveraged traders jumping into the market to try and catch that reaction off of these key levels on the fib, right? All right, April said XRP to the moon, baby. XRP to the moon. Shout out to the XRP army. Let's pull up XRP here and see what is going on in the XRP chart, right? So this has been an asset that has been massively on fire ever since Donald Trump took presidency. Well, why, right? Ever since Donald Trump got elected, well, why? Oh my gosh, dry uvula. Oh my gosh. All right. Whew. You guys ever get that dry uvula? You feel like a blow dryer has been hitting it, right? All right, let's see. Let's go into the chart here. The XRP army, shout out to you guys. Some of the best gains that have happened in crypto over the past few months, and it took conviction. It took conviction. You had to believe in this project because essentially for 7 years you made no money. No Monero, right? No money, 3 years here, but essentially coming back, or actually 4 years, right? You made no money. You were chomping and you were holding, and you were really betting on the SEC losing that case where they deemed XRP, the XRP security status, right? So this trends sideways, right? And you had pops and you had drops, and it was insane, and insane carnage over the course of several thousand days, right? All the way back from May of 22, right? You were trading in that that zone, that 30-cent region, and now you're looking at 25. That's a 3-year capitulation, or a 3-year sideways price action that could be indicating that a bigger move is coming, right? You could look at it on the weekly. Look at that nasty chop, right? Nasty chop. You held a long from anywhere in here, and you could have held it, but it would have been a brutal hold, as you wouldn't have made any money over the course of 3 years. And then all the money came pouring in very quickly over the course of a span of a month. You had this asset rocket 455% in 26 days, and this asset has done it before, right? We could zoom back in time. Go back in time to when XRP is absolutely rocketed, right? And this is small, right? This is pequeño here. Let's look and see what XRP has done in the past, right? When it comes to these massive moves. And now look at the prices here. We are sitting down at that 23-cent. You're seeing a whoop, whoop, whoop. In the matter of a week, a 200% gain, right? In the matter of this asset can move, and it can move very violently, right? In the span of 3 days, 166%. Good night. It feels like we're looking at Mandy coin, right? Here we go. We're breaking to the upside, 241% in the course of just a couple of days, right? In the course of a week, 9 days, 238%. So this asset can move, and it can move very violently. Now, I will caution everyone. The likelihood of a movement like that in such a small period of time, it is unlikely, right? I'm not saying XRP is not going to go up. I'm not saying that it can't go to the moon, but it is likely going to take a longer period of time than a day or two, because you're going to have several $100 billion inject in the market in 24 hours at very, very unlikely. If it happens, it'll be something which the crypto space has never seen before, because Bitcoin barely even gets that action, if it ever does, right? Bitcoin hasn't had moves like that where it had several $100 billion in a single day, very, very rarely, and that is the #1 coin, right, in the space. So the odds of that happening on XRP, low. Can it happen? Well, anything can happen. This is crypto, right? All right, here we go. Zooming in on the daily time frame for XRP. Light up the chat with your questions, everybody. I love going over stuff. Anything any of you want to see, I love it, right? Here we go. All right, here we go. We got this consolidation happening on XRP, speculative, right? This flat kind of pennant formation forming. Every one of the altcoins is going to depend on Bitcoin's next major move. It will play a key part in where we are going in the near future when it comes to these speculative altcoin assets. As Bitcoin is the good dry uvula. All right, so Bitcoin is speculative. speculatively, right, the safest speculative asset in the space right now. So if that starts to topple, these more speculative things, regardless of institutional adoption, are going to take some punishing, as people are going to jump into that fear mode and start selling off, right? A perfect example is right here, right? When Bitcoin fell 10%, XRP fell by 37%, right? Even from the top of that candle, it was a little higher, right? Yeah, it was a massive 39% drop to the downside in a single day, right? Bitcoin is likely that $1 trillion is not going to leave Bitcoin in a single day. It's possible, right? Satoshi Nakamoto decides to come in and market sell. Hey, you know what? We'll definitely go for a ride, right? But the likelihood of that happening on Bitcoin in a single day is very low. However, if Bitcoin does decide to take this topple down to that next high volume node sitting at $68,000, you need to be on the caution that these assets will likely follow, right? Unless there is a massive news event, something that is absolutely blown out of proportion, out of the ordinary, right? So I won't look at this as a flag anymore. I would look at this as a symmetrical triangle, 50-50 pattern right here. And you're going to take the base of the two angles, right? And we can do the old copy right there. And we'll paste it, right? Paste a Rooney. Right? And this is on TradingView, guys, right? If you want to check out TradingView, feel free to join using my link below in the description. If you want to trade these markets, feel free to join Blowfin below. My link is in the description. My trades are going to be live here for you guys every single night, right? We do have a speculative long on Ondo open right now. Our Litecoin scalp got stopped out yesterday after the live was over, right? But that was very speculative, right? And you got to have good risk management whenever you're taking any kind of trade or investment. And that is a beautiful platform to trade on, no KYC, and you can track your trading stats and everything. Weeks is another great exchange. Low fees, no KYC. So jump on in today utilizing my links in the description. I would love to see you all there, right? So we are on in the crossroads right here, in the crosshairs, and this is nothing to joke about. This is not like, I know this looks like a little triangle pattern here on the charts, but look at the measured moves of this triangle, right? You're looking at a 41% to the upside and a 45% to the downside, right? Are we going to test that daily 200 moving average that is sitting down here at $1.50 for XRP? People would say, no, boys, crypto, there's no way XRP with the banking institutions, right? Everything getting in. Well, the banking and institutions have been in, and we still had this massive capitulation down to $1.70. Can it happen? It absolutely can, right? Especially in times of low liquidity, the times in the market that this could happen, this weekend, next weekend, we never know. Tomorrow we could wake up and XRP could be at $1. Who knows? This is crypto. This is a highly speculative asset, right? And you need to be prepared for moves like that. We looked at Mandy coin going down 95% in an hour, right? That is a lower market cap example, but you need to be prepared for moves like that and have conviction in your plays, right? So if you're going to buy XRP, I highly recommend waiting for either the bottom of this trend line, right? You either wait. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I were you, I would wait for the bottom of this trend line, speculate on a long, or we get above this trend line, we come back and we retest it, and you could speculate on taking a long from that breakout retest, right? Stop below the pattern, and you could come up for your 2-to-1, probably 2.5 to 1 risk reward ratio, right? And look for that spring up to higher prices around $3.90, right? So another thing to keep in mind here with XRP as we zoom back, right? This is a chart that doesn't have it, but the prior all-time high for XRP is $3.30. Where did we hit? Where was the high? $3.41, right? But on the weekly, that did measure a double top kind of action, right? So let's pull that up here. And we went over this a couple times on the live. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but just exhibit caution whenever you're trading assets that are getting up into these high ranges, right? Like if you were looking speculatively for an asset to absolutely go to the moon, right? You could say, hey, this is a giant double bottom. This is a giant double bottom. And we're going to go to the moon. We're going to go to the moon. We're going to rip. And, we could take the base, and we could go. Once we break that prior all-time high, we're going to the moon. We're going up to the $6, $7 region. We're going up to, let's zoom out here where I see a lot of price targets, right? Let's see here. We'll keep going. I see a lot of this on Twitter, right? As you can see, the price is down here, right? And I see a lot of people being like, $10,000 XRP in the next 3 years. Yeah, unlikely, very unlikely. The market cap is too big for anything like that to happen. I just encourage you to do your own due diligence. Look at market caps before you decide to make your own price predictions or anything, because that is just unfeasible and will not happen. I put my crypto name. Boys Crypto says XRP will never be $10,000. Boys Crypto said it. Boys Crypto said it. And, you know, if it's $10,000, you guys can point, laugh in my face, but it is unlikely to occur just because of the market cap, right? You have a $150 billion market cap. Let's pull out our calculadora, right? I love this. This is my favorite game, right? Our good old calculadora. Let's pull it on up here. Good old calculator. All right. Let's see. All right. So XRP currently sitting at, let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up. We'll do the exact math for everybody. Coin market cap. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Good old coin market cap here. Now let's go down to XRP. XRP currently sitting at a $154 billion behemoth market cap, right? With only about, half the supply released. A little more than half the supply released, but $154 billion market cap. Let's type that in our calculator here. I love this, right? 154, that's thousand. That's million, that is billion, right? So in order for XRP right now, currently sitting at a price of $2.50, $2.50, right? You would need to get the price. If everybody wants to, hold on. Math was not my strongest subject. Let's do this, everybody. Let's do this math together, right? If you want a $10,000 XRP, and it is currently sitting at, let's say 250 for easy numbers, right? It is going to need to 4,000x from here. So let's multiply that by the market cap. That's 153 billion. In order to get a $10,000 XRP, you would need to have a 612 trillion with a T, a trillion dollar market cap. You would need to have a market cap 200 billion, million, billion, trillion. You would need to have a market cap that is 306 times greater than Bitcoin currently is, the number one crypto asset. Does that seem likely to anyone? No, it is not likely. That would be the equivalent of XRP being worth 20 times what our current national debt is for the whole United States. The debt that we've accrued over, how many years? 1776. Since 1776. Is that likely? No, it will not happen. I am putting my trader stamp on it. XRP will not be $10,000 unless, let me put this caveat, unless we get to a state of max hyperinflation. You see bills around the world. You're really dry on my uvula right now. You see bills around the world that are worth 10 trillion Zimbabwean dollars, right? Sure, we could get to a $10,000 XRP when we have a $6 trillion bill going around the grocery store, right? Like those hyperinflation environments can happen, and usually currencies that are based by the government don't hold on for that long before having a massive inflationary environment, right? So it's just something that you want to keep in mind whenever you're looking at price predictions or anything that you're seeing on Twitter or anything, right? You could hold these coins, going up to the moon, and there's price targets out there, right? And there are assets that have the potential to 1,000, 10,000x, right? But it's not going to be an asset that already has a market cap of $154 billion, right? There's a lot of stocks in the S&P that are worth $154 billion, right? So what are the odds of Verizon, right? What are the odds of Verizon or Microsoft, 300xing their value, Think of that like that. What are the odds of Amazon, right? These are the equivalent of Amazon, of Nvidia, of everything, right? In the crypto market, what are the odds of Nvidia multiplying its worth by 300, right? Or its market cap by 300? Unlikely, right? Unlikely. Now you start getting into things that are in like the, let's go back here, right? Go back to the boop, 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 boop. You go here on crypto bubbles. I love crypto bubbles. We love our boobles, right? All right. We're going to go back here. Now, here we are talking about coins with market caps of 23 million, right? So to get to 230 million, you could 10x. 2.3 billion would be a 100x, right? That's where you can see those kind of gains because the market cap is sufficient enough to be able to acquire a reasonable percentage of the market, right? That the amount of money that XRP would need to just absolutely massively, go to $10,000 or even, 500 or 300, what people I see speculating on Twitter is just I just want to protect you guys and keep you guys safe and, help you guys understand that even with massive institutional adoption, there's not that much money in the world that's invested into stocks, bonds, and things like that around the world. So the odds of one asset getting more than collectively is around the world in stocks, bonds, and all those kind of things is very, very, very unlikely, right? Unreasonable. And I'll quit beating the dead horse, but that's just my opinion on XRP. Let's dive into the chat. What else do we have here? Put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, of course, Wanda, we'll go over anything you ever want to, right? Just shoot me a message in the chat. I'd be happy to go over TA on gold and eggs from April. TA on gold and eggs. I know April personally, and she does like her gold. Let me tell you, right? She does love gold. She's a lady that loves her gold. Right. All right, let's pull up gold here. Gold by ounce, right? Here we are, gold on the tear of the century, right? The tear of the century, literally, right? Gold has been a behemoth, right? And ever since, we went back, ever since back in, the 1970s, and when we started debasing the dollar away from gold, we just started printing money, and gold has been a true store of value for money, right? Over the course of time, right? And that explains why gold has had a meteoric, right? 7,400% gain over the course of 19,000 days, right? Over the course of math me, right? But 50 years, that is a massive, massive gain, right? And that just shows like how our dollar has been debased from this precious metal. And this metal is likely to keep climbing as the government prints more money, as our government can't seem to get a grip on inflation, something that's just completely out of control. All right. Here we are. Let's zoom in on the daily time frame and gold. Gold just doing its thing, climbing to the upside, right? And why has gold been on a meteoric rise here, right? Where, when did this all start, right? We go back to 2020. Whenever we started, the meteoric rise in the midterm started when we kept printing money from that. Where is it? Right here. Right here. This is where it all started, everybody. That tested the daily 200 MA. Not only that, what happened here? What happened right here? This was COVID, right? Fear in the market. Nasty capitulation, right? And gold and everything, because we never had a kind of pandemic here in this country like that, right? Massive. In the span of just over a week, we had a massive capitulation. But here we go. Right here. What happened right here, everybody? What happened right here? The stimulus happened. The money printer was turned on, and we never looked back. We never looked back. Money printer got turned on, and we never, ever looked back. We were already on a meteoric rise. Hold on. Let me get my ridiculous pit bull in her room. Give me 1 second. Ridiculous. All right. Cool. Got her in her room. She was just whining, and it sounded like I was holding somebody against their will over there. Like, no, thank you. All right, let's get into this. Look at that. We'll put it at the very beginning. This is when the money printer got turned on for that stimulus, and we had a meteoric rise. Ever since then, look at this. Assets don't do this that quick. 4 years, and you had a 100% return on your spot gold gains. Come on, that's ridiculous, and it coincides pretty well with about double the money in circulation that we currently have today compared to 4 years ago. Well, what happened? Everybody got that $1,500 stimulus check. Three came out. $1,200, $1,500 stimulus check, right? Oh yeah, everybody gets an additional $600 for this, right? Oh, don't worry, we'll also print a bunch of money for aid for other countries around the world while we're also dealing with this crisis, right? That lands somewhere. All that money lands somewhere, right? And people are like, oh, I got an extra $1,200, even though some people needed it. Don't get me wrong, there are people that needed it. When I was there, I was in the military, and I was getting a paycheck regardless, right? I was in there sailing, right? Sailing the seas, and I was getting my $1,200, and I was like, well, what do I do with this? You know what I did? I put it right into the market, right? And so did my friend, so did Billy, right? So did the entire, so did a lot of my friends, right? A lot of them in the Navy, just a group of us, right? My friend, that's $10,000 in the market right there, right? And that's just us. And then you had the several 100,000 military members who got those checks, and we just invested it. We didn't lose our job. We had a guaranteed paycheck. We still had health insurance, health coverage. They gave us the shots, right? They did everything for us, but we got free money. We got free money, right? We didn't need it. But I'm not gonna say no to a free $1,200, right? Just like anybody else wouldn't, right? So we just invested it, right? All my friends invested it. We didn't have anything. Like, some people were like, oh, well, I'm a little behind on bills, I'll catch up, right? Okay, paid off credit card debt. Next check you get, to invest in. So what do you invest in, right? You invest in the stock market. You invest in gold. You invest in cryptos, all of which have gone on a absolutely meteoric rise. Why? Because not because that these assets went into a greater not because these assets are that much more valuable. There's not a gold scarcity or anything like that. We're finding more and more every day. They just found like $88 billion worth in China just a couple weeks ago underneath the mountain. Look at this new gold supply. We're just going to mine it and sell it on the market. Okay, cool. Right? But we have that much more money going into the market. And we haven't turned around since then, right? The Fed has not got a grip on inflation. So that money starts landing in speculative assets and in this case, safe assets, right? The money just ended up in the market, right? And it will continue to do so until we get a grip on inflation. That's why we've seen this little bit of a stall out in Bitcoin, because Jerome Powell was like, yeah, we're done. We're not making it cheaper to borrow or anything, right? Housing prices are starting to come down. Why? Because the dollar is getting stronger. The dollar is going to start to get stronger as the Fed tightens down. No more rate cuts. We're not printing more, right? So people are like, whoa. You're telling me that you're not just going to inject money into the things that I invest in to help them inflate and go up in value? Because I'm trying to make money here, right? The Fed, Jerome Powell said, no, I don't care about the markets. No, absolutely not, right? And he doesn't, right? That's his job, right? To manage our money supply. Donald Trump is on the other side of that. He's like, you will cut rates, you will. And now they're kind of locking antlers, butting heads, right? But we're still in a heavy inflation environment, and that's what just came out of this past Fed meeting, like with these, CPI and PPI coming out, with greater numbers than expected. Is inflation really getting under control? Is Jerome Powell doing a good job? Like, are we on the brink of something like, the 2008 financial crash or 2001 dot-com bubble? I'm not saying that we're there. But every time this Fed has taken a stance like this, every time that this Fed has been like, we're done cutting, no more cuts, we have had a substantial correction in the markets afterwards, right? And that's so hard to mentally get a grasp on, because if you're, for the past 12 years, if you put money in the market, you made money. You made money. Does that make sense? Everyone makes money in the market. You put money in the market, since 2008, you made money. You held on, you made money. You will keep making. Are you going to keep making money? If I put all my money in the stock market right now, am I guaranteed in 5 years I'm going to make money? Right? That's the environment that a heavy inflationary environment kind of breeds, right? So now you have so many people that are new to investing. You know, if you're under 35 years old, you've never lost money in the market if you've held. If you just bought and DCA'd in, you've never lost money, right? You've never went through a 2008. I've never went through a 2008, right? I was a kid in my parents' garage playing Guitar Hero while my parents were trying to figure out how to pay the bills, right? And I was just in there, right? I was in there, you know, not knowing anything about the markets, but now, you know, as I'm older, right, I realize that I've never lost money. And, you know, you don't lose money in the markets unless you sell out early or you get, you know, fear or anything like that. So it's something that's really important to, you know, grasp, that these, you know, this, you know, the boomer generation, not the boomer generation, whatever generation is, you know, the 2000, the 1900s, you know, you know, the Gen me, right? Never lost money in the markets, right? If you bought and you've held. We've never went through something like that, right? You've never seen your housing value go down, right? You bought a house, you made money. Congratulations. You bought a house 2 years ago, you doubled your money on your house pretty much. Congratulations, well done. Is that sustainable? In 5 years, is my house going to be worth $1 million, right? Is my house going to be worth $2 million in 10 years? Is my 3-bed, 1-bath house going to be worth, you know, $5 million in 20 years? Because if it is, I'm just going to hold on to it. Why? Well, real estate's guaranteed to go up 5% a year over the course of forever, right? But it hasn't. Over the past few years, you know, 2-3 years, you've gone up 50 to 60%. Right? You've gone up massively. And I'm kind of going on a rant here, but like, these prices are absolutely out of control due to inflation, right? And when the Fed stops cutting, like they're positioning themselves for that now, when the Fed stops cutting, you're going to get an environment where these assets will pull back. They will pull back. Will Bitcoin pull back? Possibly, right? Like, will the stock market pull back? Absolutely. Because people are going to be like, no, we're not getting that constant injection coming into the market, inflating all our assets, right? Oh, is the company making money? Well, yeah, our earnings weren't really good, but the good news is the Fed's printing more money and people are investing in us. Good. It's not in that environment anymore. You have to realize that there's not that constant money printer going, and it's not going to turn back on until what the market is pricing in around December timeframe now. That's a long time without you know, more money kind of pumping into the market. It's a long time. So, you know, who's going to win out? Is Fed Chair Jerome Powell going to get his butt canned and Trump going to just absolutely take over? I don't know. You know, Trump can't fire him. Like, he cannot fire him. The Fed's a private entity, right? It's a private entity that the government trusts to control our money supply. So Donald Trump has no power over him. And even though he wants to work with Jerome Powell and everything, right, and can have influence on Jerome Powell's job, you know, the president doesn't have power on him. Why? He's not a member of the government, right? He's the chairman of the SEC, or chairman of the Fed, right? But the Fed is not the federal government, right? He's the Fed chair, but he controls, you know, how much money we can print. But it's a private entity full of you know, economists. So Trump doesn't have the power like that. So, you know, as much as Donald Trump can do, that's not one of the things that he can. And Jerome Powell even said that in the press conference. He said, one of the reporters, he's like, hey, you know, are you concerned about your job or anything, you know, with the new president? And he's like, no, I have absolutely no concern about my job. My job's to manage how much money we print, right? Manage inflation. And Donald Trump isn't my boss. He said that in front of everyone, right? So that wasn't in this past Fed meeting. This was the Fed meeting, you know, before. He said, he's not my boss, right? And it's true. It's true, right? Despite the common perception on the Fed, right? All right, so let's look in the chat. TA on gold. That's what, you know, gold is just on a monumental tear. And, you know, you could look at the small time frames, try to get kind of a flag going here. You want to keep an eye on this 1 hour 200 MA, right? It's kind of served as a support point as we've been traveling up here, stair stepping, right? Long stair steps, and then you take the elevator down for crashes, right? So that's kind of where we're sitting here on gold, right on top of that 1 hour 200. Stochastics are a little overbought, right? But the RSI is oversold, you know, and we did get a little bit of that relief, right? Zooming in on the 15-minute time frame, we're below the 200, right? Are we forming what's, you know, a little cup and handy here? Are we pulling a cup and handle? You know, that you could speculate on that. You speculate on higher prices. You pull your fib. Let's use this as an example from low to high. And where do I expect buyers to come in here? Well, around that, let's get this perfectly on the wick, around that 618, 786 region, right? And you could speculate on a long here, right, on gold, right, trading on futures. You can speculate on a long here. You can take the 618 for a more conservative, like I will most definitely get in, or you can take the 786. I'm going to take it on the, at the very last second, right? Use a type stop loss with higher leverage, and you can get some 3 to 5, take it all the way back up to the high volume node. Maybe you get that bounce like that. All right, I would put my stop below the, below the prior low. But, you have a nice 5 to 1, 5.3 to 1 risk reward ratio. And that looks like it could definitely pan out, right? If you're looking at your fibs. So it's definitely something you want to, look at if you're trading gold or futures, right? And you could zoom this out and be like, hey, did we already do it? Boys Crypto, did we already do it? Look at this. We have our swing low. Boop, 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 to swing high, right? And where'd we sit? Where'd we fall, right? Where'd we fall? We fell right to that 786 area, right? That blue line. Look how perfectly that happened. Blue line, double bottom on the 786, and we boom to the upside, right? So, did we already do it? It was a long down here. This would have been a great long opportunity. You take a long down there, without leverage, you're up, 0.85%. So you take a 10x leverage trade, that's 8.5% right there, boom, right? And since you've retraced from them, but you can speculate on the cup and handle. Like there's a lot of ways. This is constantly evolving as we dive in. This is constantly evolving as we dive in, right? And the candle, we take it one candle at a time. All right, let's see. Eggs. Excellent. Eggs have been on a meteoric rise, right? All right, let's see. Good old dozen of eggs. Right? Let's see. Eggs, grade A large in the country. Oh my goodness. They don't offer this with bars, which is sad. But you're looking at right now we're at $5 a dozen, right? We're at $5 a dozen for eggs. And we were speculating on a channel forming, but this has just gone absolutely meteoric. Eggs are honestly in price discovery right now, at this point. Eggs are in price discovery. Look at this. This is 1980. Right? This is 1985, 1987, and 1990s, 2000, right? We got up to $2 before. You are looking at an all-time high for eggs, right? And we pushed above, we had, a substantial pullback. This was back during that, avian flu deal where eggs were, $1.5 million, per dozen. But look at this. Like, you can't even chart this anymore because where are we at? We're at a blue skies breakout, right? And you could say that it consolidated or whatever. You could say that, oh, we were consolidating. We broke out. We broke back into the pattern, and then we broke out, right? And that gives you a technical target, right? Gives you a technical target to right about where we stand, right? So eggs did hit the target, right? But are we going to go higher? There, you can't really chart this because, this pricing only comes out month to month. But you're looking at a blue skies breakout for eggs. You were in a consolidation period since 1980, a 40-year consolidation period. 40 years, right? For the length, some people, on this channel have been alive, right? So you're looking at a blue skies breakout. Where are we going? Can we get to $10? It's likely. Can we get to $15, $20? Are we going to be paying $15, $20 a dozen for eggs here in the near term? It's likely. It could happen, right? Let's look here. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Yeah, so eggs are just on a massive tear to the upside. And, what we want to see for eggs, to save our food prices, we want to see what? What did we look at the other day on XRP here? We want to see that bearish divergence form. We are likely going to get out. We already did. We got a higher high, right? Barely, but we're at a higher high. But likely we'll come up to some point and form a bearish divergence before breaking back down, right? And this is signaling, show me the charts, I'll show you the news, right? We form something like that. It'll say we break this low, right? $2.15, $2.05 before we break this high. That bearish divergence forms on the monthly. That's likely to play out, right? The monthly is a very, very strong, powerful indicator when it comes to time frames. So having bearish divergence on the monthly is no joke. And seeing that, we could see, $2 a dozen egg again. And what's going to push us there, right? If the charts are saying, hey, we could potentially go back to $2, well, what does that look like? That looks like tariffs, right? That looks like quantitative easing, right? Like, is that stuff right around the corner, right? Are we going to get awful unemployment news or jobless claims news, this upcoming Thursday, and then Jerome Powell craps himself and he says, we need an emergency rate cut right now, and we need to get back in. Turn on the money printer, because if we don't, we're going to have a massive, massive collapse economically, right? Those initial jobless claims will keep going up, right? People will start laying people off. Companies will start to de-risk. How do they de-risk, right? They start spending less money. The economy slows down, and that's how you start getting into those periods of time where profit margins start to fall, right? People start backing off risk asset wise. People start getting, as people start getting laid off, right? And then you have companies coming in with less profits. That results in slippages in the stock market. And you're like, oh, Facebook isn't making as much money as it's, as it has been, right? Or, people start taking and seeing U.S. companies as overvalued, right? And then you'll start seeing sell-offs. We start breaking some key moving averages, and before you know, we're in a capitulation event, right? And we're liquidating a lot of people, right? So that's something that we want to see. That's not something that we want to see, right, in the near term. So we really, really, really want to see this quantitative easing start picking up, and eventually. I will be honest with you guys. Eventually, the chicken will come to roost, right? The chicken will come to roost. Eventually, we're going to have some kind of correction, and it's going to be more massive than we've ever seen in the history of our lives, because we haven't had this period of time, right? We haven't had this long of a period since 2008. 2021 being a black swan, right? We had a V-shaped recovery since 2008 to 2025. We're going on 17 years without a substantial stock market correction. We're going on 17 years. Right, without a substantial stock market correction that lasted over a year, right? COVID, we V-shaped recovered in a couple months and we were back to where we were. But, where are we going here in the near term? Are we going to see that quantitative easing, right? That's going to save us right now, or is now the time the chicken's coming to roost, and the people who have always made money in the stock market are gonna severely suffer due to lack of risk management, right? And you can't blame them, because that's the environment that they've been in their entire lives, right? When you're looking at all-time highs, you'd only think of prices going higher. You never think of breaking the lows, and that's something that you definitely want to keep on your radar as you're going and looking at these markets, right? So let's look at the chats here. Let's look at the chats. Lots of laugh emojis. Michaela, what is up? I miss you. I miss you so much, man. We'll have to get out to visit you sometime. I hope everything's going good. Let's see. What type of ledger do you recommend? I actually have mine right here. Where's it at? Yeah, see this? I have an Elliptical Titan 2.0. Really cool. I see everything. We'll get it closer to the camera. Oh my gosh, my screen's really bright. Elliptical Titan. Elliptical. It looks like elliptical, right? Elliptical Titan. Right? Oh my gosh. I haven't even looked at my camera. My hair is all everywhere. You guys didn't tell me my hair was all messed up in the comments. Right? Don't make me put it up in the man bun again. But I have this Elliptical 2.0. It is very, very nice. I can see all my assets on the phone. I have to get into this. I have my seed phrase and everything. Separated from this, of course, right? But it's nice. You pull it out. It's a touch screen, just like your smartphone, right? Just like your smartphone, so you could look at it, you could scan a sign, and it is really nice to be able to have that accessible to you, right? And you could put it in your pocket and go anywhere in the world you want, and you could transact your funds and everything. Nobody has control. Nobody can get your funds, right? They're off chain, so nobody can freeze your bank account. Something that I thought was really interesting, right? I know everybody talks about like Kanye West, how controversial he is, and he is, right? He is. But regardless, I always believe everyone should have the ability to control their money whenever and for whatever reason, right? It's your money, right? And they froze all of his financial assets when he was speaking out about certain things on X, right? So when he was doing that, and the government froze his financial assets, right? His banks, right? Froze his financial assets, right? What is he supposed to do? He's a billionaire with nothing, right? He can't go in and swipe his credit card and buy a pack of gum, right? So your net worth in the bank, right, is worth absolutely nothing if they decide to cut you off, right? And I'm not saying like, you know, conspiracy, anything, but they had the ability to do that to a billionaire. So why can't they do that to you or to me, right? I promise you they cannot do that to me, not to my family. No, I have my funds. I have my worth, right? I have a large amount of funds here with me. I'll hold this, I'll cradle it, right? It'll be like a football. They'll be coming to the door. I'm going to clutch it to my chest like this, right? Take the dogs. Let them have the dogs, right? But we're going to hold on to our ledger, right? We're going to hold on to our ledger. They are not getting this, right? Whereas my bank account, they could freeze my bank account. And they have before, right? For me personally, right? They have frozen my bank account before, my assets. I couldn't swipe my card, right? And it wasn't for anything other than a minor identity theft issue. You know, this guy wanted to be crypto, or Boy's Crypto, right? He wanted to be Boy's Crypto and see what it was like to live a day in the life, have this hair, right? But story for another time. But that is a prime example of me not being able to use my money, right? And the bank said, "Oh, we're protecting you." Well, it didn't feel like they were protecting me when, you know, I was trying to buy food, right? Or I was trying to buy shoes for my feet, my cold, oversized feet, right? Like there's times where you need your money, right? And it's nice to see Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce here. Let's take a look here. Look. BTC, right? But I had cold feet and I could not buy shoes. That was ridiculous. Get out of here. Freezing my financial assets like that. What are you doing? All right, here we go. Is this a turnaround we need? Let's see what kicked us up here. Let's see what got us out of these depths of despair. Was it the post that we made on YouTube earlier? Did we predict an event like this? Wow. What do you know? Good gosh golly. Is everybody surprised? Oh, is everybody surprised? I'm not, right? I am not. We talked about this bullish divergence, right, forming, right, as the day has been going on. Boop, 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 boop. Right? That kicked us to the upside. What does this bullish divergence say? Well, it says that we're going to break this high. Whoop, 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 whoop. It said we're going to break this high before we break this low, right? Is this a push we're going to need to come up to this high volume node? Are we going to start cracking 200 MAs? Here's the 5 minute rearing its head. Well, so what's my trade idea for this environment? Sunday night, it is risky, ladies and gentlemen. This is risky trading, but we are going to jump in if the market presents this opportunity for us. As the 5 minute 200 MA comes down, price action comes up, we're looking to meet. We'll zoom out here. Let's see how the VRVP is looking. Oh, look at that juicy gap, right? Look at that juicy gap. Almost looking like a field goal post. Now it's gone. But we are, zoom out. Let's get a full picture here. Boop, boop, boop. We have a nice juicy gap in the VRVP up to about 96.9 and then up to 97.4. So I'll be speculating on a long here, on a small long being the weekend, right? You don't want to break your bank on the weekend, but this is the potential with low liquidity that bulls can pump us up here. The bulls can pump us up, and we could wake up tomorrow with a $98,000 Bitcoin and everybody would be caught with their pants down, right? Hate being caught with my pants down. No, you hate that. All right, so let's set up our trade here. Let's set up a trade that I will be looking at going into the night. I'll have my entry up here at the 5 minute 200 MA. Are we going to get in before the 5 minute 200 MA? No, we won't, because we don't know if this bullish divergence is going to play out yet. It's good signs so far, but I'm not going to get in prior to that. I will look at a scalp 2-to-1 once we break above the 5 minute 200 MA, showing me that strength, right? What happens when we break above the 5 minute 200 MA? We get massive pushes to the upside, massive pushes to the upside, big push to the upside, right? And we're not looking to go, you know, we're not looking being like, hey, Boy's Crypto, we're looking to go to the moon here. We're going to 130 grand. No. That's not what we're looking at here. Let's move our line back up here. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the 5 minute 200 to come down here, and we're going to be in and we're going to be out. Being a Sunday night, we're going to be in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, right? All right. It's going to be like my hyperventilating when we're driving in the rain. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We're going to go in real quick out, right? We're going to have our stop loss below whatever prior low there is here, right? We can even, you know, we might flag here and then push up, right? And I'll put my stop loss below that flag. and we will look to take advantage of that trade. So that's the trade I'm going to be looking at for the night, right? Why is my entry a little below the 5-minute 200 MA? Well, the 5-minute 200 MA is currently trending down, right? We're still below it, so it's still going to keep pulling that 5-minute 200 MA down to price action as price action is pushing up. And if we never get there, we just don't take the trade, right? We will sit on our hands and we will watch. We will wait and watch and wait and watch for the opportunity to strike like a cobra out of the grass. Shout out to Crypto Kirby. I miss you, brother. So that is what we are looking at here. Going into tonight, I will keep you guys updated on X. Follow me at Boyce Crypto 102 because someone took Boyce Crypto already, right? Everybody, I made a YouTube channel and somebody rushed right away to get the Boyce Crypto. Ridiculous, right? So Boyce Crypto 102, right? And we are going to try to catch this move to the upside, right? So, but we're going to be patient. We're going to wait for price action to go in our way. And if we don't get above the 5-minute 200 MA, we just don't take a trade, right? It's Sunday night. So we're going to be looking to going into a day of low liquidity that we know the whales could do whatever they want. We're going to be monitoring this throughout the night. So keep up to date with me on X as we go throughout the rest of the night. All right. So what else we got in the chat? Looks like that clears up all the questions out of the chat. I have enjoyed every moment of this with you guys tonight. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night at our nightly live stream where we will be taking our live trades. Why tomorrow night, Boyce Crypto? Why tomorrow night? Well, tomorrow night when the Asian markets open, we know Monday night when the Asian markets open, it is going to roll over into a market open day, right, for the United States. And it's going to be a highly volatile day, likely after a 3-day weekend of low liquidity. We're looking for those S&P futures to move to the upside. Hopefully we can get this crypto bounce throughout the rest of the day and we could close. I'll take a green candle today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take a green candle, baby. Green. Show me the green. Show me the money here, right? We want a green candle to close above this high volume node, right? We want to stay above 96.7. We want to see that candle close in 17 hours and 39 minutes, which is when I'll be waking up to attack the day and attack the trade. So I look forward to seeing you guys tonight or tomorrow night at midnight for my nightly live stream, Central Time, 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Everybody, good night. This night rotation has me off. Trading the Asian markets. What's up? All right, but that's what we'll be looking at going into tomorrow. I am excited to see you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Stay up to date with me in my videos as we go throughout the night as I'm trading. If I see anything, I'll make a video, and I will keep everyone updated on X. Again, thank you for joining me tonight, and everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Boyce Crypto.